main camera.
Hey, hey.
Good evening, everybody. Say hello in the chat. Howdy, howdy, y'all. I see Crypto Insights Journal. Welcome, Crypto Insights Journal. This is a long-time watcher, first-time caller, I guess. And Gundy, thank you for tuning in. Faded, the Deadwood. We got several others who are live in the comment section right now, guys. Thanks for being here. Nicole, how was your week?
Pretty good. Yeah, good. How about you?
Well, can't complain. I think there's been a lot of excitement in the crypto space, in particular the DeFi space. So tonight's news, I think we can cover a few different things, but in particular, you brought up a couple of things that I think are going to kind of throw a wet blanket onto the DeFi space. Wherever there's been some excitement, we always have to sort of temper our expectations of return in this the crypto sphere. So, yeah, but can't complain. Been a good week.
So jump right into the biggest kind of news, and that's the FinCEN files, right? Which were this leaked cache of suspicious activity reports filed by the U.S. Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, and they were leaked to BuzzFeed, which, I don't know, seems strange, right? Like, why BuzzFeed, right?
That is a little bit weird, yeah.
Anyway, it seems like a lot of people in this space were really excited about this news, saying, oh, this proves that, traditional banking is a money laundering scheme, is, a scam, and, this will help crypto. And Andreas Antonopoulos tweeted today that this is not vindication, or it is vindication and proof that banks are money launderers, but this will be used against cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I tend to agree completely. Anytime that we think we've got the banksters against the ropes, we've got to check ourselves. We've got to check our surroundings because they are slippery, and they've been doing this for a long time, right? Long before we got off the gold standard. Banksters, at least in the United States, they've been used to the idea of fiat and the idea of printing money, even when we had an air quotes gold standard. They've been at this a long time. But yeah, FinCEN, I don't know. I'm looking for comments down in our comment section, live comments. Did anybody here read the leaks? Has anybody here gone through the full material? I mean, Nicole, have you gone through the FinCEN leaks yet?
No, I haven't. I know.
You know what? That makes two of us though, because I haven't either. I'm like, okay, I'm going to totally block out some time to do this. I'll sit down for a couple hours and I'll go through any possible leads there are there. And I just haven't done it yet because, is it just me? Did you kind of read through it, or did you read the headline and say, yeah, sure, that tracks, that figures, and then just kind of think I'll get to it later?
No, well, so, it's kind of just been today, and I've been more paying attention to what people have been saying about it than the actual documents themselves.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, totally. The reaction, I think, is equally valid, right? Especially in the crypto sphere. You get a lot of good takes like Andreas Antonopoulos. Gundy in the comment section says, federal printers go brr, too much. No bueno. Yeah, I agree. That's not the only thing that's gone brr lately, though. There's been all kinds of other news related to that. The largest exchange by volume, rather recently surpassing Coinbase, Uniswap. A lot of people have read the news about Uniswap releasing their air quotes governance token. It's kind of, some people have viewed this as good news. Some people have viewed it as bad news. I know a few people who just, and on crypto Twitter, we saw it, some people who, based on their position within the community or because they run some kind of Ethereum schools or whatever else, they had a lot of qualifying wallets for the Uni airdrop. And so some of these people were receiving what was originally about $1,200 worth of the Uni token at a time per wallet. And they had, a dozen, 2 dozen of these wallets. Yeah. But then the token price, 400 Uni tokens, it shot up to $8.40 at its peak. And they had 400 of these per wallet with maybe dozens of wallets. It was helicopter, printer go brr money all day, basically this entire week. Nicole, tell me what was your exposure to that?
Yeah, so, I actually hadn't used Uniswap prior to September 1st, so I didn't get any Uni, but, I don't know. win some, lose some, right? There's a lot of people who are really upset, really excited about their money that they've got. Somebody just told me, I think yesterday, that he originally thought that he had one wallet and then found like there were like 5 more. So he had, I think it was something like over $9,000 in Uniswap tokens. And, I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, right. And you're also like, hey, next time we go to lunch, you're buying. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was like, he had just told me a couple of days before that he wanted to buy a house, and like that, housing, I guess, where he lives is really, really affordable. And I was like, you've got more than enough to make a down payment now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm really happy for everyone who got tons of free uni. And what I don't understand is all of the people who are so angry because they didn't get any. Like they're like, oh, it's going to zero. It's immediately, it's just as you're like, well, I don't know. Do you control the market? Because I don't.
Right. It's kind of funny because I noticed a couple live streamers, and I apologize, guys. This our live stream tonight totally coincides with dinner, and when you are handed a warm plate of chicken parts, you don't say no. I think those are the rules. This side of the world. So I apologize. It's a very unhost-like thing to do, to eat in front of guests. But sorry, hashtag deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pull up CoinGecko. My dad is saying, "Oh, chicken." That's the thing, man. After all this, like, whatever, GIOZ and sushi and whatever else on air quotes DeFi and yield farming. Now I'll take some good old fashioned chicken cooked all the way through properly. Rotisserie chicken. Yes.
And you know what? Somebody actually said that they wanted us to talk about food that wasn't related to DeFi. So there we go.
Well, guys, lest you be concerned about my daily fiber intake, I also have mixed greens with some cranberries and some pumpkin seeds here. So yeah, we're handling it. Okay. So yeah, we got the full for dessert. Should I show them dessert? We should make them wait.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Dessert, yeah, you save it.
Okay, all right. We'll make them wait for dessert. But on that note, also, Nerd Girl, you brought a giveaway for tonight, didn't you?
Oh, you know what? We need to do a coin flip because Osiris Twits never sent me his SLP address like last week. So I asked him, can we give away the tokens? And he said, do a coin flip. And if it lands on head.
You want me to do a coin flip right here?
Which side is heads though?
So that's heads. Tails is where you drop in a micro SD card that you have your encrypted wallet on, and then you put a tamper-proof sticker over the back. This is something that nobody ever uses anymore, by the way, and I think it's brilliant. I think we should all be using these for our backups for different kinds of cryptocurrencies, as opposed to whatever. I mean, I've got the Ledger, I've got the Trezor, I've got now I think 2 or 3 others, and I'm like, what do I do with all these? These are brilliant because they're just so cool. I mean, you're not going to throw something like this away. Are you? A cool coin? So anyway, let's flip that coin. This is heads right here.
Yeah. So if it lands on heads, then we get to give it away. And if not, then it belongs to Osiris.
All right, guys. Bets down in the chat. Bet. Oh, it's heads. There you go.
Okay, that's it. So we have $50 in USDT to give away, but you have to have an SLP address to collect it.
Guys, I mean, it's like most things in crypto. It's the easiest thing in the world. You go to bitcoin.com, you download a wallet that is capable of receiving these coins, and because it's Tether, well, we know it's probably 70% backed. It's probably 70% backed, but because it's Tether, it's equivalent to the US dollar, so doesn't matter that it's on the Bitcoin Cash network as opposed to an ERC20 token. If anything, today with gas fees, that's a bonus, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Hey, so speaking of stable coins, there's kind of some news on stable coins. Do you have that article from CoinDesk?
I do. Which one?
The the title is US banks can hold some stablecoin reserves.
Yes.
Or sorry, SEC, OCC issue first regulatory clarifications for stablecoins.
Got it. Yep.
Okay, so prior to this clarification today, there have been, even though banks have been using stablecoins, there have been no clear guidelines about, how or the legality of it, right?
Yeah.
So the OCC and the SEC today said that they want federally regulated banks to feel comfortable providing services to stablecoin issuers. That was in their press release. So the OCC's guidance only refers to stablecoins held in hosted wallets, meaning wallets that are held by a trusted third party. So you or my coins don't qualify for this. Are so basically, not your coins, not your crypto, right? So they have to not be your crypto. So the SEC's response has been to say that certain stablecoins might not be securities under federal law, which I think is really interesting because it's kind of like, oh, we get to pick and choose what is, stablecoins. Some of them are going to be securities and some of them are not going to be securities, right? And they said, quote, whether a particular digital asset, including a so-called stablecoin, is a security under the federal securities law, is inherently a facts and circumstances determination.
Wow. I mean, the funny thing is that it sounds like slippery language, right? Talking about a facts and circumstances determination. But at the same time, thank goodness, when it comes to actual case law, that's what's going to matter in the end, right? When there are actual judgments made based on people going to court. Now, again, let me run the disclaimer. We do this once a show, right? Once a week. But disclaimer required, guys, none of what we're talking about is legal, financial, business, or other advice. Do your own research, don't get wrecked. But as I understand it, when they talk about facts and circumstances, yeah, it's frustrating because it's sort of catch-all language. It's very loosely termed language. But then once a case actually goes to court and you figure out how it's been tried, what the judgment finally was, then there's precedent. And then that kind of greases the groove, so to speak, for new cases to go that same direction. And being able to say, like, okay, we've got to look at the facts and circumstances, that can really be the saving grace for somebody who is the defendant in a case where they've had to use some kind of, in this case, a stable coin or digital currency. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, on the one hand, do you really want the government to have very restrictive language about cryptocurrencies? If you do, like, what happens if they interpret it against you and against your interests, if it's very restrictive?
Yeah, and I think that really ties to, what Andreas Antonopoulos was saying about the FinCEN discoveries today, right? So his tweet thread, he says that the problem really with government is that when something isn't working, you do more of it. And that will result in stricter AML and KTF rules. So, as much as people want to be excited about this news that, banks are the biggest money laundering, gang of all time, is really not going to be good for cryptocurrencies because we're going to see more restrictions, and because more restrictions are going to mean the issuance of a federal token or a Facebook token, right? And then the coins that don't, work within the framework or that don't bend to those rules are, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think you're totally right. They kind of get painted into a corner. We get painted into a corner the more we grant them power, but also that it's a really strange dance. The less quarter we grant them, the more they thirst for power, right? Like, there's a place for custody and there's a place for governance. It's frustrating, especially I think for a lot of our audience that's very similarly minded to us, that is very liberty minded and is very anarcho-capitalist, at least ideologically. It's frustrating to come to that conclusion that, like, well, we're not going to be able to ditch some of these entities overnight. It might not even happen, in our lifetime. Like, bummer. And the more we give them reason to invade our personal space, the more they'll invade our personal space. And like you're saying, the more restrictive it gets, the worse that'll be for us. So how do we coexist peacefully? And how do we keep ourselves from getting wrecked by entities like FinCEN and like the banks, now that they're going to be able to custody various cryptocurrencies, including stablecoins? Goose Tech, he's in the comment section saying, first off, how are you, Goose? And he's saying, Dang, nerd girl, blood boiling. Haha.
Like I'm angry? I'm not angry.
I think he's referring to the news that you're talking about. I think you got his blood boiling.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then Gundy is mentioning government shouldn't interfere with crypto. They just mad. They're trying to tax and trace us and having difficulty doing so. So there's some truth to that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so more news. Do you want to move on to the Brock Pierce?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so Brock Pierce, presidential candidate for 2020, who has been on our show, was served paperwork last week on a class action lawsuit against the founders and former executives of Block One. It's related to. Let me pull my document. Sorry. So it's related to investors who lost money investing in Block One because EOS was an unregistered security at the time, and the lawsuit stands even though the SEC settled with Block One for what was it, $26 million?
Which, by comparison, you figure the EOS raise was $4 billion. It was a drop in the bucket, right? I mean, guys, again, I apologize. I'm eating some delicious chicken. But when it comes to a regulatory environment, when you say financial crimes of this type will require this much of a fine, then anybody who's a reasoned thinking person is going to say, well, all I have to do then is commit this much more crime to make it worth this penalty.
Right, but it doesn't work like that, right? Of course, because there are government palms being greased and all kinds of things that are going on behind those scenes that we're not aware of. So please don't, do an unregistered security and then just think they're going to get away with it,
Right.
Yeah, that's not a smart idea. Anyway, so the lawyer who brought this suit said, when you're trying to avoid getting served for a multi-billion-dollar fraud case, maybe lay off the outlandish presidential campaigns. And that might seem like a no-brainer, but if the crypto advocate and reporter Tyler Chico Crypto is right, then the very reason for Brock's presidential campaign is to avoid investigation for crimes related to Tether. So it's like, I don't know, that's a double-edged sword. How do you decide?
Yeah, that's a tough one. But I mean, again, like you're saying, yeah, first off, try your best to work within the legal framework that is already in place. Like, try not to break the law if you can. But then, yeah, it seems like the whole the outlandish presidential campaign. I mean, Tyler from Chico Crypto, I think he hit the nail on the head. I think there's some others as well who kind of came to the same conclusion that doing something that helps to prevent you from being the subject of either a lawsuit or being the subject of litigation. Oh man, some other litigation or legal action, like criminal legal action against you. I mean, it's just so crazy it might work, right? And Brock Pierce almost, he would have got away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids. So
yeah, well, we don't even know that he hasn't gotten away with it yet, right? So
yeah. I think that I don't know. Brock, I get a sense from Brock that he's lived through so much controversy and been able to sort of reinvent himself a number of times that my impression from him is that he is a survivor, and that he is trying to live in such a way that karma doesn't creep up behind him and slap him behind the upside the head. So I think the next iteration of Brock Pierce that we see is going to be the squeakiest version of Brock Pierce we've ever seen, and the most successful version of Brock Pierce we've ever seen. Like, the guy just keeps on. I mean, you could call it failing up, you could call it failing forward.
The same term, yeah.
Yeah, right. It's kind of nuts. Elegance Engine in the comment section says this should not be true. I mean, we're not here to tell you about what should or shouldn't be true. We're here to just talk about the news.
Really, yeah, we just try to tell people what's going on and let them make up their own minds, right? I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what some people have said. We're just reporting what others have said and kind of looking at it, right?
Yeah. So, but it does beg the question, Elegance Engine weighed in. What do you guys think about this news regarding Brock Pierce? What do you think of the quote? Right? I mean, it's a quotable quote. You got to admit, it's pretty funny stuff, right? But what do you guys think about Brock Pierce's presidential bid? I mean, we had him on the channel not that long ago. Thank you again, Nicole, for reaching out to Brock and making sure we could get that interview. It was really fun. I had a lot of fun chatting with him.
Always do. I think I've interviewed him several times. We've met. Always, he's enjoyable to be around. That's for sure.
Yeah. He seems genuinely interested in people. And I mean, he seems like a really outgoing and giving person. Like, that's the impression that I get. Like, he's the sort of person.
Give me his shoes.
Gosh. That doesn't shock me, right? I mean, now having spent that little bit of time with him, that doesn't shock me. I get the sense from him that he feels almost encumbered by how little time there is in the day, right? Like 24 hours in a day. And the fact that he's mortal and he can't just like go more places and do more with his time. But yeah, anyway, what do you guys think? Those of you who are watching tonight, what do you think of this news in particular with Brock Pierce and with with this legal action that's being proposed against him? So legal papers, a lawsuit about securities fraud, and specifically this one stemming from EOS. Yeah. What do you think about that, guys? EOS was supposed to be one of several Ethereum killers, right? So tell us in the comment section. Got a comment coming up from Gundy saying, I believe this bank exchange bleed over is bad for crypto. People keep screaming, yes, but we won't know until it's too late. Don't count your chicken dinners before the bird is even born. Ooh.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking earlier, I was like, so we lost, or so have we lost? I guess, kind of crypto, thinking of crypto as this like revolution against, kind of oppressive financial regime that, can print money whenever they want to give to their friends and hold it back from people. Do these, regulations mean that we've lost or not? I don't know.
That's a great question for the audience. Guys, what do you think? Tell us in the comment section tonight. Have we lost? Is the fact that banks can now custody crypto, is that a losing of a battle? Is that a losing of the war? Are we seeing the tides turn? Is self-custody and sovereignty within finance using cryptocurrencies? Are we losing ground? Tell us. Tell us what you think in the comment section. And if you think we are losing, what does that mean? And how can we counteract it? You guys, we're here to engage your opinions. So there was something else that you had.
So I guess.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Is this about our guest for next week?
It was not about our guest for next week.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Which thing do you want to talk about?
I just wanted to bring up kind of the recent excitement with DeFi. It seems like there's kind of a nascent sentiment within the DeFi community, and specifically within certain subcultures within the DeFi community, where everyone's trying to get the word out about their project. You posted a call for news tonight, and how many different projects did you get shilled?
Several. I don't know. I didn't count, but yeah, it's like everybody's like, just talk about this, talk about that. And I was like, but I wanted news.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Not just shilling a project.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted news. Yeah. So when I ask for news, please give me news. Yeah. So there's something related to kind of this debate about banks and banker-friendly coins that it ties to our guest for next week. That's because we're having Green Eggs and Sam on, and I'm really looking forward to talking with him about the anti-Ripple, anti-XRP tribalism that has been going on in the crypto space for a long time. There's been a lot of misinformation, really all around the board, right? And tonight, our guest, Green Eggs and Sam, is debating Crypto Bitlord on whether XRP and Ripple is a scam designed to designed so that investors can dump money on the willing token holders. And that's something that's been going around for a while. I don't know enough about this specific issue before listening to their debate tonight but I was hoping that maybe our audience would weigh in, maybe.
Yeah, for my part, I don't know which side of that debate BitLord is on. I don't know which side of that debate Sam is on. Do you?
Okay. Yeah, so I know that Sam is pro XRP, and not even necessarily pro, thinks that it's a good thing for the crypto space, but thinks that it's going to increase in value almost certainly, and that it's already written. I don't know, and I do for sure know that BitLord is on the anti-XRP side.
Yeah, I think BitLord's also he's a bit of a troll, right? I mean, that's kind of his thing. He's a resident of crypto Twitter. Like, realistically, that's his platform. He doesn't really have any other social media platforms that I'm aware of. Maybe he does well on Instagram. Seems like a reasonably good looking guy, always tan, always shirtless, always posting photos and half naked selfies from some tropical locale. So he gives the impression of somebody who's A, successful, B, probably successful from trading, and C, a world traveler. So I don't really know a whole lot about him other than that. Like, he talks about Bitcoin, he talks about other coins, he talks about trading, and I don't really know what he does, and I don't really know where he's been or what he's achieved. I don't know. Other than he makes awesome memes.
Okay, well, I know that he's done some pretty extensive investigative journalism, and that he was involved pretty seriously in very early discussions about coronavirus being a hoax. And he, in fact, went to China.
Wow. From what I understand, he was caught in a travel restriction, and then he started to make a lot of really funny, kind of heady memes about it. He made some videos that were actually a joke about being stuck in quarantine and such.
Yeah.
And sneaking a cigarette and things. Yeah, he was. I mean, he did a lot of really cerebral jokes about that, but I don't know about him actually being an investigative journalist.
I guess I really only started following him during that time, and I definitely did know that some of the posts were jokes, but that I don't know, based on some of what I saw going on, it seemed like there was some uncovering of the potential for the virus being a hoax. And that was some of the earliest covering that I saw of somebody saying it's a hoax. Some of the earliest, coverage.
Right. If I remember correctly, that was the one he did where he said he was under quarantine and observation, and he was trying to sneak in a cigarette while he was in some kind of plastic tarp, and said, "Yeah, this is all a hoax." And then the attendant walked in and tried to scold him. That's also kind of his style. He makes some phenomenal memes on crypto Twitter. That's my only exposure to him. And I mean, I've only been paying attention to him for, I guess tangentially since 2017, maybe 2018. But then I haven't really followed him directly because it's hard to take a lot of his other stuff seriously, because I'll see some meme stuff and I'm like, okay. So I don't know what to expect from their conversation tonight. It could be that basically he's there to just totally throw next level shade at Sam that maybe Sam can't pick up, because that's kind of Crypto BitLord's game. He's really good at it too. So I don't know what's going to happen there.
Okay, so here's a question. With a coin that's the market cap size of XRP, could something debate that between two people with reasonable sized followings, right? BitLord having a much larger following, could the, impact of the debate actually have an effect on the price of the coin when the market cap is that large?
Well, so I have my take on it. I got my take on it, and I'll reveal that to you in just a moment. First off, audience, chime in. Guys, you tell us down in the comments section. What do you think of Nicole's question? What's your answer to Nicole's question? Would some kind of a debate between Sam and Crypto BitLord, will that affect the price and or the market cap of XRP? Okay, guys, I'll give you just a second there. And while we're waiting for their comments to come in, and while I circle back to answer your question, Nicole, I'm curious for tonight's giveaway. I think you've got 50 Tether to give away. Is that right?
Mhm. Yep.
What do you say we give away 25 tonight, and we hold a little in store for next week?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I'm working on getting some coins to give away during our live stream next week, and I will probably get them. But yeah, we should just in case. Mhm.
Oh my gosh, you guys, seriously, say thank you to Nicole down in the comment section while you're typing out your response to her question, because that is awesome that she is making it rain different coins for you on our live streams.
I also don't want it to feel like we're being sponsored by, one, like I kind of want people to know that we're trying to be as objective as possible and promote, even if we're not promoting the coin that we're giving away. I don't even understand why that's like a thing or why it's relevant, right? Like if you give away a coin, that means that you're a promoter of that coin, because giving money away and you can do whatever you want with it, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You can change it into whatever currency you want. Like I'm not stopping you.
Yeah, right. If we were giving away cars, it'd be like, oh, well, I don't drive Chevy. Thanks for this $15,000 new car, like, bottom of the line, entry level brand new car. Like, thanks for the brand new car, but it's not my shade of free.
Yeah, it's just strange, right? Like, I don't know. I don't understand it. So if somebody has some major insight into why we shouldn't be giving away coins that we're not necessarily shilling, please let me know, because I'm blonde. Missing it, maybe.
Well, yeah. I'm curious too. So you got me, Nicole. I don't know what the problem is as far as it actually being a giveaway. It's not meant to be any kind of endorsement, guys. Nothing that we talk about on this show is meant to be an endorsement. In the same way that, like, when I try to talk about the mining specific stuff, it's not meant to be a specific endorsement of any one brand or type. So, yeah. Tonight's giveaway though will require that you have an SLP enabled Bitcoin Cash wallet. And the easiest one to use apparently is the SLP enabled version of Electron Cash. That's
okay.
I thought, or the
Bitcoin.com wallet.
There you go. It works also.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way to go. And I see Goose in the comment section. Goose, buddy, I wish that Zelcore supported SLP tokens from within that multi-coin wallet. It'd be so cool, wouldn't it? Not tonight. Maybe at some future time. So Goose in the comment section says, it's okay. I'll settle for uni. I get the sense that somebody didn't have a qualifying wallet. Sorry, Goose. So also, just quick shout out to Goose. He did release a video the other day, and I saw it, by the way, the moment it debuted. I was one of the first thumbs ups. I'm very proud of that. But Goose Tech, he's been publishing over the last couple months a little more prolifically on his own channel, which is great to see. But he had a tutorial on how to connect one of the multi-wallets that he promotes via, I think, a sponsorship to Uniswap. So that was pretty darn cool. So Goose also says in the comment section, whoa, don't assume about the Goose. Hey, good call. Hey, Nicole, dinner's on Goose. Next time we'll meet up. I think that's what he's saying. So,
all right. Awesome. Yeah.
No assumptions. He seems like a generous guy.
Hey, so speaking of meetups, real quick before we get back, because, I don't know, I didn't get as much news today as I usually do prepping for our show, and I apologize. But so meetups, crypto conferences. So there's, people who miss them, people who are saying that it's great that they're not going to be happening anymore, or at least for a long time, because lots of companies were losing money, on booths and advertising and, whatever. And it's just kind of this big, like, I don't know, dog and pony show, right? But like, people are definitely getting weird with the isolation. No?
I agree, but I think that I already had problems. And I think anybody who knows me personally kind of was already aware of that. They're like, something's not right with this guy. But I agree with you. We need to start meeting up. We need to start meeting up in person, and specifically crypto conferences. Totally agreed.
Yeah. So I've talked to a couple of different people who don't think that there will be anything until 2022. What do you think?
Oh, geez. Oh my gosh. Are you asking me or are you asking the audience?
Both.
Okay, audience, you guys go ahead and chime in. I'm going to get back around to answering some other questions really fast, but 2022, I think that's probably accurate, and it pains me to say it. I think if we had been a lot more intentional about the measures that we took in the United States and in the Western European states, right, within the EU, I think that we probably would have seen certain things open back up with a more deliberate reopening motion too. Like, take Sweden, for example. Sweden didn't shut things down. Sweden didn't lock everyone down. Sweden didn't tell anyone that they had to wear a mask or didn't have to wear a mask or whatever. And again, guys, not a doctor, right? If we're not financial professionals giving you advice on crypto and investments, please know I'm not suggesting that I know anything about health. But I am looking at Sweden as an example, and it seems like while they've had more deaths per capita, they've also gotten to the other side of the contagion curve. That whole like flatten the curve thing. They said like, no, shine it. We're gonna go full ramming speed, and we're gonna like punch through contagion at full speed, and they're on the other side. They have herd immunity. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh no, but we don't have herd immunity, and we still have like, think of the elderly, think of the children, think of whoever, right? That could maybe get really sick.
The people who can't wear masks because they have medical conditions, and
Yeah. But here's Sweden on the other end saying like, yeah, we feel pretty good. I mean, we lost a few more people than maybe we expected, but we think we got this handled, and we didn't have to shut down our economy.
Still living are better.
Yeah, right. Mom and pop Main Street businesses didn't shut down in Sweden.
Right.
But
yeah.
Here, I was on BitBoy's channel the other day, and he repeated the statistic that it's estimated that here in the United States, 60% of businesses that have closed are estimated to not reopen again. Like that's the prognosis.
I saw that. Mm-hmm.
They're just gonna be dead, right? Dead businesses.
I even saw something today that said that over 90% of bars and restaurants in New York City were unable to pay their mortgage or rent this month.
Yeah. I mean, right? So they're not going to make mortgage. So they're not going to make their mortgages. And that's if they actually hold the mortgage, if they're the actual lien holder, or if they actually are the people in charge of the mortgage. What if they're just paying rent? What's happening to those property owners that have like, that are just into commercial real estate? They're just commercial real estate owners as investors. So what are they doing? Are they getting debt forgiveness? Are they getting some kind of insurance to pay for their mortgages? I doubt it. Like, unfortunately, people always say like crap rolls downhill. Not when people are broke. Can't bleed a stone. Crap is rolling back uphill now. So we got some comments coming in. Faded is saying he thinks end of 2021. I mean, kind of sounds like tomato to me. 2022, end of 2021. That's a long time.
Right. I don't know. So, I mean, I guess I don't know. That seems like a really long time. I mean, I can understand why. I can understand there being regulations in place that prohibit large gatherings, I guess, like, sports and concerts and stuff. But I wouldn't say that crypto conferences are exactly, on par with those large gatherings that, that are really a concern, right? And since attendance isn't exactly mandatory, I don't know how long it's going to be reasonable to not be permitted to go on.
Yeah, I don't know either. We're already
2022 seems like, I don't know.
I agree with you. It seems weird. It seems
Plus,
weird.
they're worldwide. Right? Crypto is not a US thing. It's a worldwide thing. So even if there were regulations stopping that from happening in the US, that doesn't mean that it couldn't happen elsewhere, like in Sweden.
Yeah. So let me catch up on some comments really fast in the live comment section. So I see Max Voltage saying agree to disagree, Seth, and also saying, and this is very important to me, Max, that I want you to know that reading this comment and want you to know that you're being heard here. He says a good friend of mine in perfect health is still recovering 3 months later after being in the ICU for 2 weeks. This thing is real. To be clear, nothing that I've said so far, I don't want anyone to misunderstand. My take on it is that, yeah, this thing is real. Our response to it is also a real problem for other people. Suicides are up. I'm sorry, dudes between age 30 to 45 were already in such a high risk category before we started shutting them off from social contact. we are losing them. We're losing the middle-aged male at a rate never before seen. So we've actually lost more men to suicide than we have to this disease. Right. That has me very concerned.
I mean, I've said from very early that the virus is real, but the pandemic is maybe a little bit exaggerated. And in terms of the danger with with suicide, restricting people's financial ability is another like huge, I mean, it's the number one contributor to suicide is financial stress. So, printing dollars and making it so that people can't work. And yeah, I mean, that seems.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a recipe for disaster. But I want Max to know, like, hey, I'm reading your comment, and it's not me saying that the virus is not real. My wife and I we've got a mutual friend who also is, it's taken her longer than 3 months. She's what's called a long hauler, right? So there are some people who are showing not symptoms of the virus after recovery, but they're showing that they just aren't fully well. They just don't feel really good for a long time. And so prolonged damage to heart and lungs, apparently, general fatigue, general malaise, just not feeling good, right? Like, it's weird. It's some kind of like crazy mutated form of COPD or something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So people are just not totally recovering, but so it's not for my part, I'm not trying to say this thing isn't real or that it isn't like really hugely detrimental. But when I bring up Sweden, I think we do need to take a closer look at Sweden because they've gotten to the other side of the contagion curve and their economy isn't decimated and their society isn't decimated. They've figured out some way to maintain something of a balance and kind of keep their heads held high and not lose their sense of identity or lose their ability to produce, right? Their GDP is largely unaffected. So right. Yeah, I think there's a lot to learn from Sweden in that way. So, yeah, Gandhi, I mean, hey, tell us how you really feel. He says, people die every day, and I'm sorry to say it, but there is nothing we can do about it. Not worth shutting down the entire world. Yeah. Yeah. So Goose also brings up the point. He thinks that he's not 100% sold on this whole thing being planned, so to speak. However, he believes that the principle is definitely at work of not letting a good emergency go to waste.
Right.
Yeah. So we kind of we went that route that we don't normally go. But Nicole, I think you and I think we could probably wrap on this sort of thing most Monday nights. Yeah, most Monday nights. But yeah, there are a couple more.
Oh, we need to figure out what we're going to do for the giveaway. Like how are we going to give away the $25 in USDT?
Yeah, good point. Oh my gosh. We could do something extremely like messed up. So some kind of a challenge, right? So hey guys, if you already have our contact info over on Twitter, you've got at NRDGRL007 and you've got at MineYour_biz. Go ahead and tag us in a tweet. And take a photo of yourself outside on your balcony or on your front lawn, or maybe you're out at the lake, wherever you are.
What about people who are not doxxed?
Then take a photo of your hand. You can become a beautiful hand model. Goose, I'll take the physical challenge. Nice. You bring me back, man. It's that double dare. Yeah. So there's green goop falls from somewhere in the next 5 minutes. So yeah, guys, take a photo and tag Nerd Girl and myself on Twitter. And gosh, what's the hashtag you want them to use, Nerd Girl?
No clue. I haven't been following hashtags.
Well, let's go ahead and find a really good relevant one.
Okay.
And okay, I'm going to go into Twitter. Going to find something trending right now to the side. Gundam. Yes.
All right.
Okay, guys. So you have to, and I'm putting this into the comment section. So I'll give you guys Nerd Girl.
I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention right now.
Mind Your Biz put on one Gundam good show tonight. Okay, that's in the comment section now. You guys can see that. So that's going to be, you have to put, yes. No, not Gangnam style, not like the Gangnam district.
Gun, DAM.
Get it right, guys. Get it right. Oh my gosh. And that's why the news is trending. This is pretty amazing. Are you seeing this on Twitter?
I'm clicking the hashtag right now.
So Gundam, and it comes from the life-size Gundam in Yokohama that is in full testing mode. It can kneel and it can lunge.
Wow. Okay, so I'm looking at the video of it right now. Oh, yep, it's doing lunge. Perfect form.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So the next step is, of course, for us to get one in the hands of Russia, one in the hands of China, one in the hands of the US that is freakishly overpowered, and then for us to make them all fight, right? And that's how we'll resolve all of our differences moving into the future.
Is that is that a governance plan?
No, it's more like a
Conflict resolution?
Yeah, just conflict resolution. Got a dispute, send out the Gundams.
All right. Okay, so Osiris is the first one. Osiris, I guess, does that mean that Osiris is won back 25 of the $50 that he gave away, that our coin flip gave away?
Nice. It looks like he does. Oh, that's rad. So it looks like he totally is. There it is. Nerd Girl and Mind Your Biz put on one Gundam good show tonight. It's great. So gonna need to get that SLP enabled wallet in order to receive those coins.
All right, Osiris, do it this time.
So guys, I've got a question for you, audience, and Nicole. I'm gonna put you a little bit on the spot here, just a little bit. Nothing too weird, right? Okay. You're like,
No,
really,
I put myself on the spot all the time. Go for it.
Okay, cool. So, audience, I've got a question for you. We got several of you that are live right now. I want to know, guys, if Nerd Girl had her own live stream multiple times a week, maybe daily, what would you want to see her talk about? Tell us in the comments section, and don't make it weird. Be respectful, right? Obviously, she's a professional. She, like any self-respecting PhD, she dropped out because she realized she didn't need it.
I just realized that it was so stupid. I was spending so much time and energy, and I was like, "This is the dumbest thing," you know?
Right?
I can't anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, with that in mind, right, be respectful. Here's a person who has an incredible mind and who really, in my opinion, can carry a show like this in slightly different direction on her own every day. And then also us do the crossover media. I would not give this up for anything. I love that we're doing the Monday live streams because I want to know, for Nerd Girl, what kind of a content and what kind of a brand would you follow Nerd Girl over onto? And which platform would you watch her on? Periscope? Twitch? YouTube? DLive? Be really vocal and give Nerd Girl some feedback in the comment section. Guys, this is a really big dilemma for creators. It's a really big dilemma for independent journalists because right now we're faced with the illusion of choice. It looks like we've got 15 different platforms. It looks like we've got 15 different content threads to tug on. It looks like we can do anything we want, but it's kind of bogus. Realistically, the audience normally decides. So you guys, okay, so I'm putting Nerd Girl on the spot.
Can I have an idea?
Of course.
Okay. Okay. So you know that in this last week I've started. So basically all summer I've been rewriting people's e-dating profiles for free just because I wanted them to be part of my research. And then I started charging people and have actually been doing really more than you might expect. So I'm wondering, and majority of it is coming from Twitter because there are people who are into crypto. So I'm wondering if I did some kind of e-dating crypto crossover content, if that would be appealing to people, or if like during the live stream people could, I'm trying to figure out how it would work for somebody to call in and actually be video, so that we could talk together about how that person could change their approach online or start a new approach online so that they might be more successful.
I think I've got something for you there. I think that
Okay.
there are a couple platforms that will work really well for that. So I think we got you covered there. And
Okay.
there, so that's not too hard. The tech I can talk you through a couple ways to include people that need to do like for a call-in show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
now I'm curious too, though. So yeah, audience, what do you think about that? A sort of like dating and crypto, like e-dating and crypto.
Right. And I mean, because, I come up with all kinds of these like ridiculous crypto pickup lines, or like, I don't know, I see all these parallels, right? That I don't know. I think a lot of people see and make jokes about, but it's different coming from me because I'm female and making similar jokes, So like, I think that I could talk dating in crypto language. And I don't know, maybe it would be cool.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
But what are the comments saying? No response. Okay, maybe there's no demand for it then.
So Elegant Ascension is saying, just go do a D&D show on Twitch. Winner every time. He's not wrong. When you talk about sword and sorcery stuff and Dungeons and Dragons in particular, like he's got such an entrenched audience, and you've captured you've captured boomers even when you talk about D&D.
Mm-hmm.
All the way down to like young people who have like just discovered it for the first time. That's pretty brilliant, actually. So, all right. Osiris is saying, news, love it. Daily updates on Twitch and YouTube. Apparently that's what he would watch.
Okay.
Gundy says, stack sats and chill.
Okay.
Goose says, would be an interesting meme, but to make it a daily show sounds too campy. All right. It's good feedback, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Gundy also says, anything. Streaming every day is hard work. And I totally agree with him. It can be very topical, and or depending on the platform, something like Twitch, I think it could be something that is just like literally just sit back, read comments, kind of let the stream percolate a little bit, just for about 10, 15 minutes until you see something that is actually worth your attention, because you're also going to get all kinds of like legit crazy comments, right? Like stalkerish comments. Yeah, streaming on your own, without having at least content filters. Guys, we're really fortunate here. I've got like the great wall of China in terms of content filters on our comment section. Very little gets through that I think is disrespectful. So, Goose says he also recommends YouTube and Twitch because that's where the viewers are. A lot of like organic discovery. Elegance Engine says play video games on Twitch in a low cut top, another capture. Again, he's not wrong. It's hard to argue with, only because you can be somebody who's only put in 2 weeks of time, and before you know it, you're already earning like day job, like it's a minimum wage level income, but it replaces a minimum wage job within a couple of weeks of streaming. And we've seen it over and over again. So not awesome money, but money. Yeah, guys, go ahead and offer some additional suggestions. Nicole, for my part, I think what you're talking about by way of like just talking to people about their e-dating profiles, that need is only going to get bigger, right? Right now.
Maybe that's like 1 day a week. And, I do a day that I talk about whatever crypto tribalism thing I'm looking at that right then.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
That's where my real PhD level research comes in.
Yeah, well, and I'm of the opinion that when it comes to live streaming content, and right now, guys, I apologize. We've really been very relaxed tonight, and it has been very topical, right? We've brought up a couple of things and really just riffed on it. But when it comes to that sort of like topical, top of mind flow, it sounds weird, but there's sort of like the rewards, there's kind of an inverse square in terms of rewards. But it's like reverse. The closer you get to providing value, the more distant your audience feels from you. In my opinion, you guys tell me in the comments section, the more value that Nerd Girl will provide in that very cerebral, studious way of presenting well-researched, well-formatted content on a platform like Twitch, I'm of the opinion that she would scare away a lot of the audience just because they'd be like, I don't want to think too deeply about it. But you get past the surface. You get past just the topical level, and they'll be like, oh, wow, hey, this is different, and I like it. But like only so deep past the surface, I think.
Okay.
Just my take on it.
Difficult probably to, yeah, like, I mean, and it would be really difficult to present research on the crypto tribalism because it would be like me lecturing.
But that's kind of like live streaming in general. You have to be really comfortable with a camera and nobody else to riff with, right? Like, so it always kind of feels like lecturing. So Fadad says he's waiting to see dessert.
That's true.
Yeah. Goose brings up a really great comment, and I agree largely. He says she doesn't need to wear anything revealing. People will watch her anyway. That's totally true. Dressing in a way that is not revealing, but is just comfortable because you have to sit in front of a camera for a few hours and be comfortable. Like that's practically all that matters.
Yeah. On
some level. I saw there are a few gals on Twitch, and I did just recently with my wife. We looked over a couple of channels that because my wife in Old Town Pasadena, I'm not going to say the exact year, but it's been a while. In Old Town Pasadena, California, she used to bring her guitar, and she would sit on the corner and she would busker, right? And she would do like $150, $200 in an afternoon, cash tips, just singing. And I mean, that's not like great money, but she was doing what she liked. It was just fun. And yeah, when she saw on Twitch, she saw a gal who English is her second language, but her English is extremely good. And she was from either a Scandinavian country or from a German speaking country, but her accent was pretty good. It wasn't perfect though. And she said, yeah, I'm going to make up a song. Give me some comments. I'm going to take a little bit of time. And she was very much letting the audience be involved in the process. She even was putting her makeup on when the stream began because she got there just a little bit late. So she finished doing her makeup, and then she got out her guitar and was talking to the audience for like 30 or 40 minutes before she came up with some kind of a song. And she used like some standard, right? Like to riff with, like to just play with, and then kind of came up with lyrics over time. And then by the end of her live stream, about an hour and a half in, she had a song then recorded in the middle of the live stream she could cut out later on and then upload separately. So, and it was like, there was like 1,500 people watching simultaneously.
Wow.
To this, to this like young girl, she might have been 18, 19, but just wearing like really comfortable clothing for the climate that she lives in. Right. So blue jeans and like I think it was like a heavy knit sweater because she was just wanted to be warm. And, so all this kind of stuff, all this kind of stuff that can be done. There's so many different directions to go. For me, it's really sad to see on Twitch that there are some girls that like basically, it's like, I mean, whatever, life choices, right? But it's obvious that they feel like they have to show up in a really low cut top, in like booty shorts, bare midriff, like they have to have the makeup done before the live stream. They've got to look at one very specific way, and they have to not take offense at dudes acting like literal animals in the comments section. And then they're on stream for like 4 hours because they know if they stay on stream for 4 hours, they're going to make the dollar amount in tips that they want to make.
Right.
So there's a lot of that too. But it doesn't sound like that's what you want to do. No,
I mean, just normal, be good. I wear plenty of low cut tops just like in my normal life, you know?
Well, hey, what's comfortable is comfortable. I'm not. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. No arguments there. Like seriously, I'm of the opinion, like if I never had to wear like pants again, I'd be down.
Totally. I agree. 100%. Pants are the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, guys, and for anybody who's tuning in internationally, we mean the American version of pants, not your version of pants. I'm talking about trousers, okay? Yeah, I prefer to wear undies. Thanks. Did that get weird? Fast? I heard crickets.
I don't know.
Elegance Engine says it's called the Happy Gilmore method. You tuned in for the low cut top. Suddenly, you're learning algebra. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's a really popular YouTuber. We've asked her to come on this show before, and she just said that she doesn't do she doesn't do them. You and I talked about it. Oh gosh, why can I not remember her name? She's Asian. She does tech reviews and tech. We've talked about having her on. I asked you once and you were like, yeah. And then she's like, I don't do podcasts. You don't remember who I'm talking about, but her reason for wearing really revealing clothing like that is like a, I don't know, statement against her oppressive government and culture.
Okay. Yeah, totally. I get it. Hey, 1984, wearing makeup, right? Like, sure. Yeah. I get it. I totally get it. And that can take so many different forms. And I totally respect that. I'll just like second what Goose said in that, like, if it's not something you don't want to do, you don't have to wear something like in a specific way. There's like no outfit for live streaming, right? Yeah. Naomi Wu. That's what Goose Tech is saying. Yes. Yeah. Naomi Wu. And we did talk about having her on because she's like, to so many people in the tech industry, she's throwing wrenches into the gears of so many related fields, and it's pretty brilliant to watch. Yeah. So yeah, no, mad respect to Naomi Wu. And it's kind of funny because she's one of the few people in that space that, like, you can tell she's actually hardcore in the space because she said things like, oh my gosh, like electrochemical engineering of rifled barrels in the DIY gun community. She gave them a shout out on Twitter. I'm like, okay, this lady knows her stuff. Like, because she's outside of her field, but she sees the science going into what's happening, and she acknowledges the hard work. Like, she gets it, totally gets it. But let's see. Gosh, Gundy saying with forced isolation, OnlyFans is full of soccer moms. Yeah. Well. I can't really comment on that, guys. I don't want to come across as rude. Goose Tech is saying, what about a regular show about what makes crypto great? You could then venture into all different places, including the online dating content, travel, merch. Really just kind of a positive, like, pick-me-up show. Yeah. What makes crypto great? Yeah, make crypto great again. Make crypto great again. The show, the live stream. That was something that I'm trying to a local, like, beauty influencer or something to do a collaboration with, because I was working on a beauty collaboration with a girl who has like 200,000 followers on Instagram, but we don't live drivable distance from each other. I want to find someone who I can be like, show me how the right way to put on mascara, and then I'll show you how to buy that mascara for 10% off on Amazon using crypto. This is awesome, and you should do it. And I might know a gal. Do you? Okay. I might. I live in a state that has the highest number of paid YouTubers per capita. Uh-huh. Because they all, I mean, prior to YouTube being the place where the money was, they did mommy blogs out here. Mm-hmm. And made a killing. So yeah, well, no, for sure. I'll get you looped into that community, and wouldn't take you long to find somebody. Utah is drivable from me, so it could be a thing. Yep, totally. So, Goose, yeah, beauty products you can buy with crypto. What if it was a makeup show where you only used products that you knew you could source with crypto? The thing is, though, with Amazon being, you can source anything. Yeah, right. Like, yeah, the gift card loophole of crypto makes everything accessible in a way. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, but what I was thinking is that it would be cool to show, to have someone who has a built-in audience that, we can show, okay, hey, this is how you put on mascara properly, right? And then this is how you buy that mascara for less money than you would buy it for. Well, then you can straight up like shill all your ref links. Yeah.
but also, teach people how you can practically use crypto to save money on things that you already buy.
It's pretty brilliant. Honestly, I think the fastest way for non-crypto people or not the hardcore nerd technical people who would normally be into like setting up a master node or mining or whatever. I really think that the way they're going to earn crypto in the next year or two, especially as joblessness increases, it's going to be through rewards programs. It's going to be through cash back, like crypto cash back and stuff like that, where they get some kind of discount for using crypto. So yeah. It's pretty brilliant. In my opinion. Question. You asked me a question that I skirted around and then said I'd get back to, and I totally blanked.
Okay. Mentally. Okay.
It was, does the audience remember? You asked me. Audience. What are we forgetting? What am I forgetting?
Was it about the XRP?
I think it was about the XRP. Oh my gosh. You guys, is it that time of year? Do I have to bust out the wax? I might. It's almost No Shave November. Gonna need to let out the Bavarian roots. Jawohl. All right. So, Goose is asking, might have some minor issues with legislation on spending crypto for merchandise. Is it a taxable event? Do I have to claim gains, losses on it? Well, here's the other thing. When you're making content about projects like that and products like that, it's actually, it would put Nerd Girl at liability and at risk for advising. She doesn't have to educate people about tax liability, because then it puts her in a worse position as a creator.
I mean, I think realistically, if we're talking about small dollar transactions, the government's not going to be really concerned about, somebody's $20 mascara purchase. But,
yeah. Yeah, right. It's like, that's a taxable event. The most expensive mascara you ever bought, Missy. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that the IRS is going to be coming after people for making small purchases, but I could be wrong.
We'll see. Hopefully 2020 doesn't keep going the direction it appears to be going by way of legislation.
Right.
So Osiris says, don't spend it, lock it in as a loan.
Okay, I think that he's talking about collateralized lending, and that would be cool, but I don't know about merchants accepting a collateralized loan for small purchases. I don't know.
Fair point. Guys, there's a lot of different ways to go. So, I know you asked another question, and I'm forgetting which one it was. I need like an instant replay. You can just rewind into the live stream and be like, oh, right.
Okay. I think that I asked what your thoughts on the, XRP situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Can it move? Can somebody who's an influencer move markets within XRP?
Could, two relatively large influencers having a debate about the scam potential of a token, of a coin a token with the market cap of XRP have an impact on the price?
That's a really great question, and I've got an answer for you. But before I give it, audience, guys, I want to see by show of hands, and we only have so many live viewers right now, but I want to see kind of by show of hands. You can give us a little hand emoji, thumbs up emoji, pointing up in the air emoji, number one emoji. Who of you would be comfortable sponsoring Nerd Girl on Patreon or a similar type of platform to launch her solo live streaming channel this week? Hit the emojis, guys. Hit the emojis. It's 2020. We're speaking only in emojis and grunts if you're a dude. So, all right. So while they're busy talking about that, Osiris first off has a little comment about the XRP. He says, yes, they could, but XRP would have to stop selling treasury and dry up liquidity. Yeah, I agree. There'd have to be some really big measures that take place in order for them to move the market in such a way that it's catastrophic. And like with most high high volume and high market cap cryptocurrencies, I think XRP is big enough that it's not that it's too big to fail. It's that there are such largely staked individuals, so many whales in the space, and so many whales and whale wallets that aren't like really well known publicly, not very public people, that you just never really know who you're up against, right? Like that's the problem with Bitcoin proper, and with BCH for that matter, or any older project, is that you have people who just like by virtue of the fact that they were around and they bought into ICOs, or they were there for coin forks in like 2012 and 2014, etc. Like they've got massive power to move markets. They're not market makers per se, but they are market movers if they feel like it. So they can mobilize to counteract the bad effects of a debate like what's happening tonight. So even if, let's just say Crypto BitLord is like, he puts smack down on Sam, right? He's like, oh, flying elbow drop. And XRP goes like reeling, drops like 25% tonight. By tomorrow, it could be back up net 5%, maybe. Like it's a crazy industry, right? Because it's just such a small pond with investors. So
yeah, no, I mean, what I really meant, do you remember when we had someone from Note on and the price of the token, like, I don't know, doubled or something during the live stream? And we're talking about a super small cap coin, right? But what I mean is like, could the actual live stream and sentiment because of it be swayed on a larger market cap coin like that when you're talking about much larger scale influencers or content creators?
Yeah. To adjust my answer, no, I don't think it's influenced in the same way, but I do think that you can see price action. You can see the effect on price within that event. That's how small crypto in general is, if that makes sense. So you can shake the confidence of just one wallet address holder, and that can move a market that is, what we call a large cap, right, within crypto. But relative to like, whatever Apple stock, they've got really strong hands. Anybody holding Apple stock has really strong hands. Anybody holding any other traditional stock has really strong hands by comparison. And those indices and some of those portfolios that hold the various different stocks in the traditional markets, they're just not swayed in the same way. Certainly not by somebody on YouTube.
Yeah.
But crypto, yeah, even a large market cap, I think it's possible. But again, crypto being what it is, we could see something crazy happen where tonight, literally it drops 10 points, 25 points. And then tomorrow it's up net 5 from today. So yeah, I don't know. But got a couple more comments coming in. First off, Osiris raised his hand. He would support you with an ongoing patronage for your foray into live streaming. Aww, and not the only person. Guys, go ahead and make those emojis known. And if so, what platform are you most likely to support? Would it be something like Patreon?
My thoughts were that it made sense to use. My thoughts were that it made sense to use Periscope because then I'm on Twitter, and that's where I obviously already have a following.
There you go, guys. I think that makes sense too, actually, at least as a starting point. Yeah, that totally makes sense. So guys, what kind of a patronage platform would you be comfortable with? Would you want it to be something that's crypto based? Would you prefer just something like that? Would you prefer having a crypto donation address where you see, first off, Jeremy, thank you so much for the subscription. Appreciate that. Where you see on-screen notifications like what you just saw right now with that subscription. Would you want to be able to see your donations go live when you donate crypto to Nerd Girl? Yep. And Goose is bringing up a really great point down in the comment section that it's really easy to multi-stream with Restream.io. He's totally is. That said, if Nerd Girl has a really big following on Twitter, I mean, I agree with you, Nicole. If that's where you got the biggest following, when you know you're going to get a couple hundred eyeballs on a video immediately live, like, why wouldn't you just start there?
Yeah, it made sense. It's what makes sense, like, to me. No. Because then, you're just on Twitter and you see on the top that I'm live, more likely to click it than having to go to another platform.
Yeah. One thing I'll say is that for discoverability, Twitter is not good. Twitter's really good for real-time notification for an audience that you already have like captive, but it's not very good for discovery after the fact or even during the live stream. I don't think it's particularly good for discovery. Not the same way. Goose is bringing up a point that I think I agree with as well. Starting on Periscope, because you have that really good following base right now that will see the notification and then join you live and show really good metrics, really good analytics of people showing up and watching the videos. But then branching out with exclusive content on Twitch and YouTube to build those audiences also.
Sorry, my dog was like crying and
Yeah, it's familiar. Well, guys, I don't know if you were aware, Nicole has a Maltese poodle, a multi-poo. I've got a multi-poo also.
Yeah.
So that kind of, that whining is very familiar. For us, it's always accompanied with scratching at the door.
Yeah. He was like sitting on my bed and I don't know, he's been crying for a while and must have heard it. It's driving me crazy.
A little bit. But it's a familiar kind of driving me crazy. Whatever.
Okay. So next week, right? We've got Green Eggs and Sam. We're going to talk about crypto tribalism and probably a lot of what goes on tonight. It's what I'm going to be wrapped in this coming week.
Yep. Lots to unpack, I'm sure. Crypto Bitlord, I'm curious to see how he fares in debate as opposed to memery. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see what happens there. Question: what T-shirt are you wearing tonight, Nicole?
I'm wearing a Satoshi 2020 shirt. Got a couple months until the election. Even after, I think that the shirts might still be relevant because the point is vote with your dollar, right? Yeah,
absolutely. One more little comment coming through the comment section. Nerd Girl on Uniswap. Somebody's looking forward to a token.
I want to launch a token. You know about this, but I think that you and I talked about it before, and it wouldn't make sense to build it as an ERC20. It would probably make sense to build it as a different kind of token, right? We talked about this.
I think that may be true, that it's going to be a lot. It's just going to be prohibitively expensive on Ethereum right now because of gas fees. Even as a meme coin, right? You try to send somebody a meme coin and it costs you whatever, $14 to send somebody 30 cents worth of meme coins. It just doesn't make sense.
Right. And this really kind of would be a meme coin, right? Like it would be just a fun, I don't know, token. Just, I have a really good idea. I think you're going to be,
yeah.
What do you think?
I'm in on it. I'm in on it. And I think you're right. I think you're right. It's a question of the right platform right now, because DeFi, for as awesome as it is, has made things just like so stupid expensive. On Ethereum, at least.
Right. You said something about the potential for building it on SLP.
Yeah. Guys, what would you think? Would that seem weird if we built it on a Bitcoin Cash technology? Would that seem awkward? And Guy with Effects, thanks for the sub. Appreciate that.
Oh, also, I didn't ask you, but is there a way to reserve my token name? Because I'm afraid that somebody is going to take it. It's really good.
Well, on ERC20 or on Ethereum, it's possibly already taken, and we'll do a search there. It's taken. Somebody's used it, right?
No. Well, I mean, maybe I'm not looking in the right places.
Okay. So interesting. Cadena is being suggested in the comment section. Cadena's not bad, but because of, I've got to do a little more reading, but I believe that the approach that it has to governance is just a little bit too restrictive, probably for Nerd Girl's taste. And Ether 1, I don't know. It would require that it has enough usage that a layperson would say like, oh, cool, I know this coin and I'll use it. That might not be the case for Ether 1 today. I know they're working on big things, but Ether 1 it wouldn't be quite the same as one of the top 25s. So
is there a way to reserve the name or the ticker?
There is, but the only way to reserve the ticker if you're on ERC20 or ERC 721 is just to be first to market and to hit with like violent force, right? To be traded for a specific amount so that you then get some kind of an exchange listing, or you get CoinGecko to say, hey, you're a DeFi project, so we're going to list you. So then you kind of like, it's not a question of being the first person to reserve it on Ethereum. It's a question of being the first person to make it culturally relevant.
Right. Got it.
So yeah, speed of execution. But Amiris asks what about EOS?
Maybe.
It's not a bad, not a bad suggestion there at all.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly there are easy no coder tools for NFTs for ETH and EOS. Yes, there are.
I made NFTs.
Yeah. But gas fees apply no matter what, whether you're using low code, no code tools, or you're crafting the Solidity smart contract yourself. You don't get around gas fees. So guys, this is a question I think we're going to have to leave you with tonight. Congrats to Osiris for winning back his winnings. I mean,
winning back half of his winnings. Oh. You're only getting $25.
Oh, snap. Well, how about this? Nerd Girl, why don't we go ahead and let's commit to doing that meme coin on SLP for next week. So that way next week we know for sure that we got $25 of Tether on SLP. So guys, $25 of Tether for next week's show, plus a special meme coin. But you have to have an SLP wallet.
I'm in.
All right. Cool. Hey, Goose. ETH 2.0 could launch in November. That's true. It could. But I mean,
it could.
Yeah. I'm not holding my breath.
Counting on it doesn't seem smart.
No. Don't make bets. Definitely. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Nerd Girl, thank you so much. Another great episode. Anything we missed?
I don't think so. I think I'm excited for next week. I hope you guys will tune in. I'll work on starting to live stream. I know that I also need to live stream with Adrienne to address some of the issues about her project, which is Lolly Dates, that I'm a project manager on, consent on the blockchain. It's an e-dating thing. Something like I've been tangentially involved with the project for a while, but I'm kind of only now officially involved with it. And I know that there are a lot of questions. I actually really want you to be there too, Seth, because I do.
Okay. Well, we'll have to figure out some way to make that happen. I'm a little bit jaded about it. We've had a private conversation. I'm a little bit jaded, but I'll just admit, right, that's my bias. I'm a little bit jaded in that space.
That's why I want you to be there, is because I want you to poke holes in it.
Phrasing. Okay, guys, that was a great show. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time.
Hey, guys.